everyone, to episode 120 of the internet sensation known as Triple Threat Talk, as Big B is clutching top dyno because as this week is the first lead change of the week in the weeks division, and we bust out Domo. So we'll talk about...
I'm claiming this to dear life.
We'll talk about that a little bit later on. I am Gary the Dr. Lockard, joined as always by Big B, Brandon DeMuro, Jimmy Biggers, Mr. Postmaster Jones, getting ready for the questions that we are going to ask this week, so we'll stall for a minute. How was your all's week?
Sorry, my weekend was good.
Yeah, did it?
What'd you do?
Well, it couldn't have been that good.
Well, no, it was. I'll get into it when we get to the NFL what my Sunday was. And my Saturday I saw Gravity, which was an excellent film. People should go see it.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we did a Danger Run. I'm not sure if you guys heard of this. You guys heard of this?
Yeah.
It was fun. It was basically, for you guys that don't know, you decode a whole bunch of clues to get to certain locations that include haunted houses. One of them was really good, and if you're in the local area, it's Cobb's Haunt. It's an outdoor maze, an outdoor corn maze, different from Field of Screams, which used to be an undesigned maze, which means you could walk through it and get lost in it and try to solve it. Lately, they've just had it roped off. At Cobb's Haunt, it is an undefined maze, so you can get lost in it. We went there, and I think we were in that maze about 50 minutes. They were 11 acres. It was really good. And the other one sucked. It was bad. So I won't even mention it, but I will give Cobb's Haunt their accredited props. It was very good. Mm-hmm. So with that being said, I think Mr. Postmaster's ready. Take us away with viewer questions.
All right, let's get started here.
Umpire.
That's what she said.
Come on, there you go.
From Against All Odds 20.
Yes.
Looking back, do you think the XFL was WWE's stupidest idea?
It's up there. The stupidest idea, I think, was Katie Vick. I think that was her stupidest idea. In terms of this, it was a good concept, but it obviously didn't work out. Although it did provide some people that were in the XFL a job. Tommy Maddox played for the Steelers.
Yes.
He Hate Me was in the NFL as well. I can't remember his real name. He Hate Me was there. So they had some success from it, and it had a full season. So, and it was still football. So if you're a football fan, you enjoyed it. But the concept of it didn't really catch on, and obviously they lost a lot of money because of it, and it wasn't Vince's greatest venture into the world of sports, as it were. But I still think Katie Vick was the dumbest thing they've ever done. They'll never live that down.
I agree. I think the Katie Vick thing was just ridiculous. I don't think XFL was bad exactly for the reasons that Big B does. One of those rare occasions where you and I agree. It was still football. People still appreciated the fact that it was on television. And you know what? Some of the stars of today did come from there.
Yeah,
so I mean, it's not.
It was exciting. It was still football.
Yeah.
I mean, the kickoff was weird because they had them do like the scrum. It was a scrum where they went to the middle of the field and someone got it. But
the only truly bad thing about the XFL was people that play in the Super Bowl get more than $1 million if they win the game. Yeah. And of course, the whole team had to split the $1 million.
You got enough room there?
So
yes, I made it. All right, I totally agree. I think it was a good idea to an extent, but stick to what you know best, Vince. Wrestling. It wasn't your dumbest idea, but it ranks up there as some of your worst for sure.
Questionable calls.
And to correct the doctor from earlier, he did say it was episode 120. It's actually only episode 119.
It is 120. It is 120.
118 was last week.
Yeah, 118 was last week. So
it is 118.
You're one episode ahead.
I'm looking to the future.
We've got so many we don't know.
That's right.
We are losing it.
From Saber Green 2010.
Saber.
Is it just me?
No.
Or does the Dixie Carter AJ Styles storyline seem similar to the CM Punk storyline?
I don't watch TNA, so I wouldn't know.
I am also going to say I don't watch TNA, so I don't know.
You're the last up to bat.
I don't know either.
So why don't we answer?
I don't know.
So here's what we'll do, Saber. Since we enjoy the fact that you are doing this, we will do a little bit of research in the coming week, and we're not ignoring your question. We're ignoring it until next week.
No, I'm ignoring it.
How's that sound?
No,
I'm ignoring it.
I will answer it next week.
I'm ignoring it because of TNA.
I tell you what, I will ignore it until next week. I will answer it in my wild card. I will make my wild card just for you.
And by the way, who the hell cares about this storyline when TNA's all about Ethan? It's all going to be about Ethan anyway. So what's the difference?
What the heck is that?
If you don't know Ethan, then you don't know anything. So
stupid.
It's all about Ethan.
It's stupid.
It's all about Ethan.
Stupid.
TNA is Ethan.
Do you have a pick for the World Series?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, he wants to know.
I think the Dodgers are clearly the best team in baseball. I think they played fantastic against the Braves. I think they have the best pitcher in baseball in Clayton Kershaw. They obviously have a chance to rest because the Pirates and the Cardinals are in a Game 5 currently. So they have a chance to rest their players and see what happens there. But I definitely think whoever they play, either the Cardinals or the Pirates, can be a great series. The Cardinals are definitely a tough team to take out in the playoffs, and the Pirates obviously the non-fans pick because of the underdog factor they possess. The AL, Tigers look good, Athletics, Red Sox, they all are three viable teams that can get there, but I think the Dodgers are clearly the best team.
I'd have to say Dodgers and Oakland are my World Series pick, and I would take the Dodgers to come out of that.
Oh, California there, fella?
California.
I'll go with the Dodgers. They took my Braves out, so want to see the team that took us out win the World Series.
I think they got it.
I think the only team that probably could challenge them is the Red Sox.
Maybe the Tigers. They got some,
Yeah, we'll see.
Make it hot.
For the Buck in 5, which two teams do you think will play for the national championship, and who do you think will win?
I'm assuming he's talking football?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
Well, yeah, national championship. Well, he could have done basketball.
Yeah, basketball national championship.
We're going with football because it's football season.
I just don't see any other team being in it on the besides Alabama. I think Alabama is clearly the best team in the country. Again, they do have some tough games. Like they still have to play LSU. They still have the SEC championship, so they could lose one game there.
LS Boo.
But I still think they get there. As the other team, it's a toss-up between a lot of teams. You could have Oregon. You can have Ohio State if they're on the table. You could have Florida State if people start.
Clemson.
There's so many. I'm honestly going to go with Ohio State. I think Clemson and Florida State are going to cancel each other because I think one of those teams is going to win. I think.
Really?
What?
Really?
What?
Ohio State?
Yeah.
They have the second worst schedule behind Louisville.
They're undefeated. That's what
They
happened.
got the second worst schedule behind Louisville. Only Louisville has a worse schedule than Ohio State. They played none of the ranked teams and none of the good teams in the Big Ten this year. None of them. Their schedule is horrible.
Yeah, but
Only the reason they're up as high as they are is because of the name.
they're in a position.
And it's crap.
I think it's Ohio State. Do I want Ohio State? No. I want Florida State. But I think it's going to be Alabama and Ohio State.
I think it's going to be Alabama and Clemson. I think Clemson will be the ones that come out of there. If this was another year, if this was next year, and Ohio State had this schedule, I would say, or had next year's schedule this year, I would definitely put Ohio State in there. The only thing that might save Ohio State is that the Big Ten is a little bit more highly regarded than the AAC as far as scheduling goes. So with that aspect, Postmaster is absolutely 100% correct that what he said about the scheduling is the fact of then they might look at the conference and say, you know what, Ohio State looks a little bit better in a better conference, scheduling be darned. So it's not always right,
No.
but we know that happens because of the SEC and other like the Pac-12 and all that. So,
All right, and finally from the Buck in 5.
What was your pick?
Oh, sorry. Alabama and I would say Florida State.
Yes.
But I'm going to say no because he's a freshman QB.
Playing lights out.
And I think he's going to have his moment.
63-0.
He's going to have his moment. So I'm going to say Alabama, and then I'm going to probably go with Oregon. So
1-2.
for the Buck in 5, to wrap up user questions. Speaking of Ethan, how do you feel about this Ethan person coming to TNA and the promo saying, "Who is Ethan?"
Well, Ethan is Derek Bateman from WWE.
Jason Bateman?
No,
For sure?
Yes, it is Derek Bateman. Not Jason Bateman. Jason Bateman's in Arrested Development. We all know that. On Netflix. Good show. Check it out. Anyway, no, but Derek Bateman is Ethan, and this whole thing, it's kind of a joke because everyone's building it up because it's all TNA is talking about, like, who's Ethan? Ethan is coming, blah, 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 blah. Like, he's going to be the next coming of Hulk Hogan or something. This Ethan thing is kind of silly because it's getting over-promoted like it's going to be this bombshell announcement. This guy's going to take over TNA. He's going to win everything. It's just, it's odd that he's getting this much exposure. It's Derek Bateman. We all know Derek Bateman. He's very good, but Ethan is taking over the world. So, yes.
I agree. I don't know anything about this Ethan, so.
Ethan.
So with that wraps up user questions.
Total
this
nonstop
week.
Ethan.
I want to thank everybody for their questions and comments and everything, the input that they had this week.
Input.
So with that, we'll anoint this week's viewer of the week, and I guess since the Locke is all hip to answering his question, he's going to do some research.
Hip.
I guess Saber Green 2010.
Hip, hip, hooray.
Back to back. Welcome back with back to back viewers of the
So what
week.
happens when you ask questions?
So with that,
You get meaningless prizes.
Saber Green 2010, you are this week's episode 119
Viewer of the week.
Give me 1 second.
1 second.
1 second.
Time's up.
We're on delay. This is
Talk amongst yourselves.
It's not really happening. Not really happening.
Talk amongst
And with
yourselves.
that, Big B,
Yes.
roll the beautiful
Roll that
music.
beautiful bean footage.
Let's see if he incorporates Domo this time.
Oh, hey.
Doctor, give me the news. I got the bad case of the headline blues.
What the heck? Domo's floating. How is this possible?
Ah, the floating domo.
He's defying the laws of physics. Everyone, please. I mean, we got
Pay no attention to the fact that I just put my hat on my head.
I mean, we have a watch that you can talk to on your watch, and now we have floating domos. It's just the world is coming.
That
to
is
this
awesome.
shit.
I was like, Zordon, it's morphing time.
I mean, a commercial I saw for that. The coolest thing about it was when the woman was getting to a taxi, she's like, "I'm on my way." Who just wouldn't want to say that to a watch?
That's awesome.
You know? Anyway.
I'm here.
Anyways,
Oh.
a little bit of news this week coming out of South Carolina. I'm going to start off on a high note. Of course, this week South Carolina came to the great city of Lexington, Kentucky.
Incorrect, sir. They played in South Carolina.
They played in Kentucky.
No, they did not. They played in South Carolina.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not
Are you kidding me?
No.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Are you kidding me?
All right, we're running on time
Sorry.
here.
All right. So you all say they played in South Carolina. I think it was Kentucky. We'll look it up a little bit later.
There's
on.
nothing to look up. They played in South Carolina.
I find it hard to believe that Kentucky could put up 28 points against South
because
Carolina.
Damian Clowney wasn't there.
All right, and that's what I want to talk about.
Hey.
They said that Clowney came up to Steve Spurrier.
Bruised rib.
Said, "Coach, I can't play. I've got a bruised rib. I can't play." So Steve Spurrier, of course, doesn't play him, but there's no doctor or anything. I wasn't around.
Where were you?
I wasn't around to actually clarify this. So Steve Spurrier in the press conference. I wish we could roll it. Maybe we can find it. I don't know if we can.
There's a
find
clip
it.
out there.
So he says in there, of course, we should feel blessed that Clowney's playing for our team. We had 2 11-2 seasons, the best in school history. We should feel privileged that he's playing here. Not that anyone else is playing here, but that Clowney is playing here. And if the kid wants to play, we'll gladly have him on the field. If he doesn't want to play, then
He didn't practice on Friday.
Interesting choice word from the old ball
Yeah,
coach.
it's not the fact that he didn't practice. It's who says that we're blessed to have a kid playing on our team. No other coach says that. No other coach. You don't see Charlie Strong out there saying, you know what, we're blessed to have Teddy Bridgewater on the team.
They are.
Only Teddy Bridgewater. He doesn't go around saying, we're blessed to have Devontae Parker on the team. Only Devontae Parker. We don't.
He was playing him on it.
We're blessed to have Sonoris Perry on the team and nobody else.
Nobody else.
You don't see that.
Just Sonoris Perry.
It's a very inappropriate response to a very inappropriate situation. If he wasn't going to play, he should have had it cleared by the team doctors.
What are you doing?
And what are you doing?
Go ahead.
He should have had it cleared through the proper channels. And now the word is, now he's saying if he never wants to play another snap again, I will support that decision. And now Steve Spurrier, in further proof that he handled it incorrectly, Steve Spurrier came out today and said, we handled the situation incorrectly. We should have been more apologetic about the situation.
All I know is he's hurting his draft stock by
He
playing.
is. That's exactly what I was trying to tell Postmaster. I get Postmaster's point. He needs to look out for himself. I understand that. But he's a member of a team.
I think we're getting close to the break, but I think that hit on Michigan kind of his head grew from like size 1 to like size 5. Everyone was saying how great the hit was, and it kind of got in his ear. And he was thinking, he was saying, you can't double team, you can't triple team me, and he's building himself up to fail. That's what he's doing. So.
Bad. We'll talk about a little bit more about this after the break. Triple Threat Talk. Stay tuned, folks.
IWU Louisville knows business. Not only did I earn my graduate degree, but I experienced a well-rounded education that benefits me my entire life.
The enrollment experience here is fantastic. They fit it around my schedule. They know I'm working. They know I have a family. They really took an interest in my goals here at IWU. IWU knows business.
Indiana Wesleyan University, Louisville. Change your life, change your world.
And welcome back here on Triple Threat Talk. Postmaster Jones, Jimmy Vickers, along with Big B, Brendan DeMiro, and the Doc, Jerry Locker.
Fail book.
Before the break, we were discussing Jadeveon Clowney, and just some things to throw out there about just how important that he is, and why his NFL stature is as high as it is. The average throwing time for an NFL quarterback, the fastest release by any quarterback in the NFL right now is Matthew Stafford, 2.4 seconds. When Jadeveon Clowney is in the game, guys like Aaron Murray and Johnny Manziel and AJ McCarron, those guys, those guys like that, they're averaging getting rid of the ball 2.2 seconds. So actually, he's making them get rid of the ball faster than any quarterback in the NFL is getting rid of the ball. When Jadeveon Clowney is not in the game, the average time that the other team is getting to get rid of the ball is 2.7 seconds.
Stafford.
And no, this is when Clowney's not playing.
I'm just saying, you said Stafford's numbers were 2.7.
2.4.
Oh, okay, 2.4.
So that just goes to show you there's a half-second difference when he is in the game and when he's not in the game.
And no one's arguing that at all.
And they've only ran the ball his way 30 times this season. And when they do run the ball his way, they double team him. He does only have 2 sacks, which people are kind of bagging on him. He's only got 2 sacks. But when you make that big of a difference, you're thinking half second is not that much. But actually, that is a big deal.
It's like that.
Yeah.
When you're making a quarterback throw faster than any quarterback throws in the NFL, you're doing something right.
Yeah.
He's an impact player. I can't blame him for wanting, if he did have a bruised rib and it wasn't documented, I don't put that all on him. Maybe the South Carolina training staff or the doctors at South Carolina should have had some kind of documentation.
That's the weird thing. The doctor said he was cleared to play.
Mm-hmm.
So
the doctor said he was cleared to play. So
it's on him.
I think what happened is, and this was brought up on a local show. This was brought up on Diener's show the other day. He said that one of the things that he said was, maybe it was the fact that Andy Sweeney actually brought this point up. He said maybe it was the fact that he played for, they were playing Kentucky, and if he was going to get hurt, he didn't want to be injured to Kentucky. Which maybe I get, because there's no, Kentucky does have that right now in football. There's no fear of Kentucky. And if you get hurt playing Kentucky, I can see that maybe being a stigma. Yeah. But not really, because anybody can really get hurt at any given time. Heck, we saw Kevin Ware not even get touched last year and got one of the most gruesome injuries I've ever seen on a
Nate Burleson broke his arm getting home.
Yeah. So I think it was poor judge of character by me. Right now I'm kind of having a hard time delineating much between Johnny Manziel and Clowney. I just think that anytime that you forget that you're on a team, it hurts you. And I think not playing, and when he was medically cleared to play, I think not playing hurts his draft stock more than anything.
With him, I don't see him going to anybody in the first couple of draft picks anyway, because you have to look at the teams that are going to be the Jacksonville. They're probably going to take Bridgewater. And his quarterbacks, Taj Boyd, Johnny Manziel, they're going to be taken probably before him. I'm trying to think what team that's struggling right now would need someone like really strong on defense. I'm trying to think who that would be.
I think Carolina. Could do it. Jacksonville. I think they're probably going to take Bridgewater. It all depends on the draft stock. I think Cleveland could.
They're taking Manziel. They want Manziel.
But see, at the rate they're going, they're not going to get a chance to get Manziel.
They can trade up and get him.
You could trade up and get him.
They have that pick from Cleveland.
They still have some picks. But I think those are real possibilities. And I wouldn't even be surprised if San Francisco traded up like they did a couple years ago to get Kaepernick. If they traded up to get Clowney, because they have that landscape up there to where, us and Seattle both. San Francisco and Seattle both have that where they don't have to pay a whole lot for quarterbacks yet because they're still in their rookie stages of signing. So you do have that. You do have that salary cap.
Again, I don't know what team's going to take him, but whoever he goes to, he'll be productive.
Oh yeah, he'll be productive.
But again, you have to look at the off-field stuff. That's why Teo went so far now. So.
We have coming up this week. We have Louisville versus Temple. That was last week, 30-7.
Pathetic.
I don't know what to think about that.
Here's the thing.
They were at Temple, so I give them a little bit of credit, maybe for that.
I don't give them credit.
And you have to,
they're playing in a big empty NFL stadium.
Yeah, you're playing empty. Exactly. That's exactly what they were doing.
But they were up. They were up at halftime, 24-0. At halftime, 24-0. They got outscored in the second half, 7-6. What is that? So? This cannot happen.
2 field goals in the second half.
This cannot happen. Louisville's not in a position to win games this way. They're not. They have a really bad schedule. They want to compete for they can't play the game.
They're not going to compete for a national title.
Winning games like this, they're not.
They're not going to anyway.
If they won games,
all they're worried about is running the table and going to a BCS.
That's all they want.
That's all they're worried about this year.
They may not even get there.
Oh, they're going to because they're rated. They're 11th right now in the BCS ranking.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying it's possible if they lose to Rutgers or somebody else, if they get one loss, they're out of the BCS.
Here's what they did on Saturday, and this is why I'm annoyed. It's not the reason you're annoyed. I'm annoyed because it looks like they're just there.
Just there.
They're just going through the motions like, well, we know we're going to beat these guys. They're not trying. No. And I don't blame them. I'm not mad at them for that.
No.
Why should they go out there and take risk of getting hurt to beat Temple? Who cares? We could put a team together and beat Temple. They're not that good.
The thing with Louisville, to really get noticed, they have to put a show on like they did against FIU.
I'm not worried about that, though.
And also in U of L's defense, Charlie Strong had a couple coaches say, why you got to run up the score? Do you not understand what they're trying to do? I mean...
Yeah, they have to do that.
They have to run up the score.
He's not going to run up the score. He's not a person that likes to run up the score.
What about the FIU game? What do you say about that?
They had opportunities to play.
The second and the third string was in there. Pretty much the whole second half.
That's exactly what happened.
Tell your first string to stop our second and third string.
When you have the second and third string there, and FIU's first string can't stop U of L's third string, Charlie's not going to tell them to run the clock out. He's telling them to run the game.
Yeah, I mean, I don't fault him for that. That's crap. That's crap.
If FIU's first string cannot stop Florida's Louisville's third string, then
that's not running up the score.
FIU.
That's not running up the score.
That's not running up the score.
We got our third best line out there, and you can't stop them. That's not running up the score. It's not like you're leaving Bridgewater and Parker and all those guys out there.
And the fact that FIU's offense still couldn't score on U of L's third string defense, that's even worse.
So we're not running up the score. They don't run up the score. They
need to, though.
No, they don't. They just need to win every game. That's all they need to worry about winning is winning every game.
If they win every game, they will make it to the BCS.
Yeah, that's all they're worried about.
If they slip, like at the game you and I went to last year at Connecticut, or if they lose to Rutgers, they're done.
Rutgers and Cincinnati.
Rutgers and Cincinnati.
No, they're
really
no.
Okay.
They won't lose to Cincinnati.
Well, everybody said they won't lose to Connecticut last year either, and look what happened.
So they won't lose to Cincinnati just because simple fact of their best player was injured for the year.
That's true.
And we can't lest we forget Devontae Parker.
He's playing.
He's playing, but how is the shoulder going to be?
He's fine.
You can't say that. We haven't seen it yet. The doctors say that they're cleared. FYI, or just to further illuminate that point a little bit, Vernon Davis was cleared to play at 85%, and it did affect his productivity a little bit, but not a lot.
They don't need Devontae Parker to beat Rutgers.
But, you don't know who they need to beat Rutgers.
They have Bridgewater. That's fine.
They had Bridgewater to play at Connecticut.
That's all they need.
So that's all. But I don't know. But anyway, they play Rutgers tonight.
Thursday night football.
Yeah, Thursday night football.
That's going to be awesome.
Going up against the Bears and the Giants. Mm-hmm. So it'd be
the worst football game of the week.
Back and forth. No, it's the worst.
No, I don't think so. I think
the worst one that late.
Well, I mean, you got the Giants.
I think being the Thursday night game, Louisville's going to get a lot of exposure.
Yeah, Louisville will get it. That's what I'm saying.
They're rated in the top 10. They're undefeated. It's the only. I mean. Yeah, they're going to get competition from the NFL, but only.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think they will. I think that's a terrible.
Only in the New York market.
I think that's a terrible.
Again, I don't think it's.
Wishes were fish. No. Would be an ocean.
I don't think it's going to happen. But if by some chance the Giants are competitive in that game, I don't think so. But if they are, that game's going to be put on.
Yeah, but
we'll see.
People are going to have to watch that game to know if it's going to be competitive.
True.
So.
Well, they can hear about it.
Yeah, Yeah, they could.
Put it on Twitter.
Read the bottom line on ESPN.
Exactly.
All right.
So we've got
Ohio State.
This is the last time you do know.
I put it underneath, didn't I?
No, you put it everywhere.
No, I put it
Ohio State versus Northwestern.
No, look, it says NCAA.
Yeah,
it says this Saturday.
And then you added everything on there that wasn't supposed to be added. So we're going to go down to Florida at LSU this weekend, the only in top 10 game this week. What do you guys think about that? What does Les Miles need to do to beat Florida's second-string quarterback?
The quarterback for Florida's playing actually pretty well. He's playing pretty well, but LSU's just
too strong.
LSU's in another class right now. I think my question we answered earlier about who's going to win the national championship. LSU is in a position now where they could beat Alabama,
and so is Georgia. Georgia is making a very strong case as well.
Although they have that one loss already, so that hurts them.
So, but it's one of those things that there's going to be another team in the BCS championship game that has a loss.
Of course,
I don't think I'm going to be
undefeated.
So, Bama comes to, this time I know they're coming to Kentucky. They're coming to Commonwealth Stadium.
You don't want them to.
I don't want them to, but they're coming. And I actually don't mind. I do tend to go for UK, but
if you're a UK fan, this is a treat to go see the Alabama play.
This is Bama, so a lot of UK fans.
Use one of your NFL things. They could be playing in Kentucky. They could be playing in Alabama. They could be playing on the moon.
But of course,
this one won't be close at all.
I do think it's interesting though. Whenever the number one team in the nation comes to Commonwealth Stadium, they always go back to the LSU beating. The fact that
it wasn't a beating.
It was the third. It was a beating when you consider what happened.
It wasn't a beating. It was not a beating.
Beating them in triple overtime.
That's not a beating. When you beat somebody in triple overtime, it's not a beating.
It was insane.
That's not a beating. That's a win.
The fact that UK was a 14-point underdog in that game, that was a beating.
That's not a beating.
That was a beating.
When you win in triple overtime, it's not a beating.
That's close.
But
that's a close game.
That will come, but Bama's just absolutely going to light up UK. I think so on that one. Texas A&M, they go to Mississippi. I think Texas A&M is going to
roll.
Yeah, I just think that's going to. I do want to roll a clip here. All right, bring up Texas Iowa State
from last week.
This last minute here of the game. Look,
formation on the ground to Gray. Gray pushing, stopped short. Now Iowa State is running out with the football. Jeremiah George has the ball. Let's see what they call. From the looks of the officials, they're calling it down at the 1.
The ruling on the field is the runner was down by contact. Timeout, Iowa State, their second timeout of the half.
Well, Iowa State wants to stop the clock, not only to preserve time, but just in hopes that the replay booth will have a look at this.
And that's big that it's that Reese and not forward progress, because you can't review.
That's
Hey, you remember the Oklahoma State-Texas game last year?
Yes.
At the goal line when they got kind of a gift?
You'll notice, all right?
If I can find it.
You'll notice here, the whistle has been blown after this ball is taken away from the Texas player at the goal line, okay? Iowa State clearly recovered the ball, because when you knock the ball out, it is still a fumble. Whether or not it's a forced fumble or not, it is still a fumble, okay? After they clearly had this ball out on the goal line, going the other way, for no reason the play was blown dead. Iowa State's coach was furious after this happened, and he should be. This was all the rage the next day. What is your all's take on this? How bad? And the reason I want to say this is, and I don't like to bring it up because you guys know, although I don't go for U of L, I do have their backs, and I still think one of the worst calls in football history was the fair catch touchdown at Connecticut, calling the fair catch touchdown. And then a couple years ago, the Syracuse field goal, that was pretty bad. That was dumb. Where does this rank in the most blown calls in NCAA history? I think it's up there.
It's up there. It's pretty bad.
This is horrible.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
They even reviewed it. Yeah. That's what makes it worse.
Yeah, that's what makes it worse. If they hadn't reviewed it, it wouldn't be near as bad, but they reviewed it and they didn't change it, and that makes it even worse.
That makes it terrible.
That means no matter how loud you scream, sometimes you just never get your way.
What do you do if you're the NCAA to correct this? I don't even think training or coaching would help here. Training or coaching the officials because they have reviewed it.
Who knows?
Step by step.
Day by day.
Day by day. I knew that was going to happen. But seriously, what would your advice be to the NCAA on the heels of this blown call?
You reviewed it. At least look at it. I mean, obviously they reviewed it and they got the call wrong. You need to make sure when you're reviewing
maybe you need some thicker glasses or something.
I mean, they're reviewing a play. They need to make sure it's.
And they were at Iowa State. That's what really is. I mean, you got all sorts of stuff here that really.
Texas has their way about getting things their way. That's for sure.
Yeah, that is true. Texas. So we're coming up on a break here, but when we get back, we're going to delve into the wonderful world of NASCAR, NFL. And other things, and baseball especially, in the playoffs.
Baseball.
Stay tuned on Triple Threat Talk.
Baseball stuff.
Run, go! Did he just fumble? I formation! We have got to get the 3 technique block. I'm not angry. I'm not yelling. Nobody's tackling anybody. We got absolutely.
I don't think this is such a good idea.
I'm on it. We can't secure the quarterback-center exchange.
You're doing a great job, Coach.
Well, they're coming along better than I anticipated. Very pleased.
Who told you to take a break?
Want to win your own football fantasy? Just tell us. Then use your Visa card for a chance to win it.
And welcome back to Triple Threat Talk, episode 119. This is Big B alongside the clicker of the pen, Postmaster Jones, Jimmy Clicker, Biggers, and the doctor who is looking dapper, as I must say, with Doma lying on his back. And
the Doc Domer.
And then the Doma.
What?
I don't know where that went. We're back anyway.
So, before the break, the doc teased that we're going to talk some NASCAR.
No, he said other things.
But he did say NASCAR.
He did, but he also mentioned other things.
Go ahead, take us.
I mean, we're not going to talk tennis, so you don't have to worry about that.
No. I mean, I could, but I'm not.
We could, but we're not going to. So the closer, Kevin Harvick, picks up the win this week.
The closer?
That's his nickname, the closer.
Oh, okay. Why do you call him the closer?
Because he's never there, and then all of a sudden he's there in the top 5 or 10 at the finish.
It's a horrible nickname.
Like, where the hell did he come from?
It's a horrible nickname. That is a horrible nickname.
I'm just saying.
What are you saying?
Why? So Kevin Harvick wins at Kansas Motor Speedway.
Kansas.
He moves up to 4th place in the point standings. No, I'm sorry, I think 3rd place in the point standings.
So he's closing in.
Yes, he is.
Whoa.
Matt Kenseth maintains the points lead over Jimmy Johnson, who is 2nd.
Jimmy Jones?
Kevin Harvick is 3rd. Jeff Gordon is 4th in the points.
Jeff Gordon.
Drive fastly, call me Jeff Gordon with the black SS and the navigation.
You're an idiot!
We're back to Triple Threat Talk, the musical. As last week, we found out we had a garter bill.
So, oh my God, not that again.
I will have you know that box song has been stuck in my head.
Speaking of that, I don't remember what day it is, but this week they're actually on Jimmy Fallon.
And here's the kicker. For those of you that don't know,
they don't want to know.
It's number 11 on the iTunes most downloaded songs.
It is
number 11.
Annoying thing I've ever.
It's epic. It's great.
But we did have a humorous conversation about it.
It sounds like a children's song.
I don't care. It's hilarious.
What does a fox say?
I'd rather have a garter bill.
So they're in Charlotte this week. It's Saturday night underneath the lights.
Under the lights.
And it'll be the last night race of the season.
Saturday.
No more singing, please.
So that is that.
That is
some golf news this week.
Yes, there was.
Tiger Woods helps Team America win the President's Cup.
Here's what I don't get on that, okay? Everybody gives Tiger Woods credit for the closing point because he was out on the field on the course.
He won the last match.
He won the last match. Exactly. My point is this: if Phil Mickelson was on the last match and would have won, it would be Phil Mickelson's credit, and everybody would be thanking Phil Mickelson. But everyone's making a big deal that the fact is that Tiger's point was the one that clinched it. If Tiger played like 3rd or 4th match in, no one would have ever mentioned Tiger. No one would have ever mentioned Phil Mickelson. The storyline would have been like this: the Americans clinch the President's Cup after a 4-day tournament.
Because it's Tiger Woods.
Exactly. Because it's Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
And that is sad.
Because Tiger Woods is epic.
No, he is not.
He's not epic anymore.
He's still epic.
He used to be epic.
He's still epic.
No, he's not.
I like to see you play around the golf against him.
I'm not Tiger Woods.
Exactly.
He should be. He's not a professional golfer.
He's not a professional professional much of anything. Oh, wait a minute. He's a professional package handler.
I've never played a round of golf in my life. I play mini golf.
I wasn't going to say anything, but we were told that a package hit him in the face the other day at work.
Don't y'all have something against Cody visiting you during work hours?
Where's this show going? It's going down a bad spiral.
I don't know.
But yeah, so
some NHL news as well.
NHL news.
Big V, the Flyers 3 games in. I'm thinking
goose egg.
They're 0-3 and they're like, you're fired. 3 games.
What is the NBA?
It's like, what the heck? Who gets fired 3 games in?
I think he called what's his name? The guy from the Lakers. What was his name? The coach?
Larry. No. They used to coach the Cavaliers.
Yeah.
Mike Brown.
I think he called him up. Yeah.
Yeah. So the Flyers fire their coach after 3 games. 0-3. They hire the new guy. He starts last night, and he wins.
Good stuff.
You know why? He's like, we trust in Vincent LeCavalier.
It could be. Did he score a goal?
He scored 1 goal and they lost the other night. They lost, but only had 1 goal. It was the only goal he scored.
That's because he's epic.
Yes.
And he has the greatest nickname, or the greatest name in history of hockey.
Yeah.
Vincent LeCavalier. So that's NHL news this week. It's good to have the NHL back, me and Big B.
Full season.
The good thing is right now, through the middle of October, if you have Time Warner Cable, any viewer out there, and you like NHL, the NHL Center Ice is actually free.
When you told me that last time, I actually checked. I didn't have it.
Well, you're supposed to have it.
I didn't see it.
So I watched a little bit. So I guess I might have to look into it because I'd like to check that out. If it's free, I'd love to be able to.
Because I know last year when
I watch hockey,
MLB was starting, we got MLB the only package for free.
Because that way you can watch any game. It's not selected just now.
I mean, I did watch the Preds last night because they're we get to see them on Fox Sports South, and they did win their home opener. They beat the Minnesota Wild. There was 3. They had 2 power play goals and a penalty shot in the first period. It was pretty cool seeing a penalty shot.
That's pretty good.
That's always good.
Penalty shot.
So that's hockey.
A little bit of baseball.
Baseball. I don't want to talk baseball. I'd rather not.
The Dodgers take out the Braves.
Oh well, it is what it is. The Dodgers clearly have a better pitching staff. Clayton Kershaw is outstanding.
I mean, let me talk about that for 1 second before we get to the other game. I mean,
time's up. You said 1 second.
The effort he put in on that game is nothing short of remarkable. He's on 3 days rest, and they put him in because they wanted to finish this off. And he played good. He played as good as he could with all the rest he had, and then the Dodgers end up winning it with a home run by Uribe. So,
Boston is
won the series.
Boston has won the series over Tampa.
So now they wait the winner of the
All Square in St. Louis, Pittsburgh, and St. Louis.
They actually play right tonight.
They're playing tonight.
And Oakland and Detroit are tied at 2.
And then Oakland
and
Detroit
play
are also tied at 2.
Tomorrow.
That game should have been over for Oakland. But give credit where credit's due to probably the AL Cy Young winner, Max Scherzer, who had bases loaded with nobody on, and he got out of it. That's just great.
2 NFL players' seasons unfortunately come to an end. Their careers do not come to an end. Their seasons do. Julio Jones may be out for the season. They don't know what's wrong with his foot. It is an undisclosed foot injury per coach Mike Smith. How does this affect the Falcons?
I mean, first of all, I know they said that the diagnosis was not positive.
It was not positive. That's all they said.
If they lose Julio Jones for the year,
they're done.
They're going to take a downward spiral.
They're already down.
Well, I mean,
they're
bad now, but they lose their best weapon.
And I don't know what happened. I can't.
They added people. They added Osi Umenyiora. They added Steven Jackson. Tony Gonzalez came back. They have a good thing. They have a base team that they can win.
I don't get it.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I mean, look at it this way, all right? Last year, the Falcons won the division, and as you saw, 13-3. They won 13 games last year. Through 5 games this year, they've won 1.
Yep.
1 game.
Ahmed Bradshaw of the Colts to have season-ending neck surgery as well.
They need to do something about that running game because it's not working.
Some NFL scores
around. They worked enough to beat you all Sunday.
He didn't run well on us.
It didn't matter. When you have Andrew Luck, you don't need that.
Andrew Luck is ridiculous.
The Browns get it together with a couple late pass and a couple impressive late passes by Brandon Whedon downfield, 37-24 over the Bills. Brandon Whedon had it. If he plays like he played Thursday, they're going to be okay.
So Brian Hoyer gets his chance and he's done for the year.
He's done for the year.
The only reason
season-ending.
The only reason the Browns lost this game because EJ Manuel got hurt. That's
You
it.
mean the Bills lost this game? The Browns lost
The only reason the Browns won because EJ Manuel got hurt.
The Patriots, the Bengals in the Patriots. Tom Brady quarterback, 52 games without a touchdown. With the touchdown,
it was a monsoon. Did you not see it?
Yeah, driving up.
It was like biblical rains. It was insane.
It was Christian Bale.
Packers 22, Lions 9, in a game that our own Big B was at. The Colts 34, the Seahawks 28.
Colts too.
After a 12-0 Seahawks lead early, Mr. Luck leads the Colts to come back.
Dude, he is good.
He's good.
He's phenomenal.
He's phenomenal.
But I'll say this about the game was the fans were very respectable to both teams. No one was outraged and saying whatever. Because I think there's mutual respect between both teams. They know how good we are. We know how good they are. And there was times where
how was the fans? I was going to
They're very nice about. And there were some questionable calls as well. And then some fans were like, "That's home field for." They knew it was wrong. They still had some questionable calls. But I'll say one thing, and the fans were just the same with me. When Russell Wilson would scramble in the pocket, run downfield, like, can you stop him? Like, no, you cannot stop Russell Wilson. It's not easy to do.
Rams 34, the Jaguars 20. They hit the point spread on that one.
They were 14. They tied the point spread.
Yeah. Cardinals 22, Panthers 6. The Broncos
in a defensive struggle.
The Broncos pass up the greatest show on turf through 5 games.
Game of the week.
719 points. The Broncos passed that. They needed 39 points to pass it. They got 51 to the Cowboys 48.
He's human.
I'm very impressed with Dallas.
Peyton Manning threw an interception. He's human.
And so did Tony Romo.
That's expected.
You know what's funny is I'm sitting there and I'm watching the game at home with Steph, and we're watching it, and Peyton Manning had just tied it at 48, and the Cowboys got the ball back. There was like 2.5 minutes, something like that. The guy was like, "Crap, he's got too much time." And I said,
"Yeah, you even told me that."
Yeah. And I said, "Stephanie, I think it's about time for Tony Romo to have a Tony Oh-no moment." And I even tweeted that to our guest last week, Andy Lindahl. And right as it happened, like as soon as I said that, the first play was a sack. And the very next play, Trevathan with that beautiful pick.
That's not Romo's fault. That's not Romo's fault.
Danny Trevathan made a phenomenal.
Again, the people blame Romo because he does it all the time. That was not his fault. It's a great play by Trevathan.
ESPN analyst the next morning, he showed how this was not Romo's fault because somehow Tony Romo was getting backlash on this, and I don't understand it.
Tony Romo does not deserve backlash.
What had happened was the analyst broke down the play. Tony Romo took 3 steps back, and his foot got trapped in the back of his O-line defender, of his defender of the O-line. He was aiming to throw to the side left of the field, and the footing on his position actually forced him to throw closer to the center of the field, closer to Jason Witten, and Danny Trevathan just made, as you said, you can't defend that. No. As a receiver, how do you defend that? He just jumped in front of the ball. I don't understand, even as I was watching that, I did not understand how anyone could fault Tony Romo for that. I don't get that.
But because of what he does precedes him, that's why.
He threw for 504 yards, 5 TDs, and that one costly pick. Peyton Manning threw for several more touchdowns. He did have that one interception.
The blemish.
So he has 20 touchdowns to 1 interception.
22 to 1 ratio.
It's pretty good. It's all right.
It's okay.
It could be better.
If you didn't like that game, I mean,
what's wrong with you?
I mean, what was wrong with you, honestly?
If you have defense, you didn't like it.
Yeah, if you're a defensive person, you didn't like it. You're like you said, but if you're a football fan in general, not even being a fan of Dallas or Denver.
Yeah, on the way back from Indy, I was like, I can't believe this game is close. It's competitive.
99 total points.
Couldn't someone score one more point to make it 100?
It was the number 1 most watched game in the Louisville market.
Yeah, it was.
Number 2 was Seattle Indy. Number 3 was Cincinnati New England. And actually, the 49ers game was number 4.
Yeah. And that game is next. 49ers 34, Texans 3.
What a wallop.
After a first play interception by Matt Schaub.
Hey, Matt Schaub shows up. Throws another pick 6. NFL record.
He threw 3 interceptions on the day. 3.
And they had to bench him and put TJ Yates in.
The Raiders.
I'm still trying to wake up from this game. It ended sometime in the middle of the night.
2:30 in the morning.
Raiders 27, Chargers 17. We all picked the Chargers.
You know what?
Really
I'll say it. Raiders found a quarterback. Terrell Pryor can play.
Yeah.
And Monday night, for some reason, the score isn't up there, but
the Falcons did.
But the Jets. How about the Jets?
Jets won 31-28.
The Jets.
Geno
Smith led them on a game-winning drive.
What's wrong with the Falcons?
What's wrong with the Jets?
They're good.
That's what I'm saying.
Winning.
We all said the Jets are going to be horrible.
Well, here's the thing.
We said it on the pre-football.
You know why we said that? Because we figured Mark Sanchez would still play.
Yeah, that's true.
With Mark Sanchez, they're disgusting. They're a pathetic team.
They're not much better with Geno Smith.
They're much better. They're much better.
But
they are better.
They're better, but he's still a turnover machine.
I'll say this much, all right? The Jets with Sanchez are not competitive, and they're pathetic. With Smith, they're competitive. They can win games.
They're 2-3 right now. So I don't see much changing in that. They're not going to be of much threat to anybody.
No.
Geno Smith still needs to work on his turnovers. He is, in fact, a turnover machine. There is no debating that.
But they're needing in that division.
But he does give them the best chance.
There's time for second.
Over Sanchez.
Right.
All right, so with that, we'll take a quick break. When we come back from this break, we'll get into Week 6 pick'ems. I can't believe it's Week 6 already.
10 more weeks!
No, actually 11.
11
There's 17 weeks in the season.
Yeah.
So we'll be right back with pick'ems right after this. Stay tuned. Triple Threat Talk. Don't go anywhere.
The game's on the line. You're the star of the team. You deserve to smell fresh with a confident clean. You took a 40-minute shower and missed the second half of the game.
And welcome back here on Triple Threat Talk. Postmaster Jones, Jimmy Biggers, along with Big B, Brendan DeMuro, and the Doc, Gary the Domo Lockard. And so let's get right to it. Week 6 pick'ems. Top Dino, but for how long? Big B, you lead us off. Thursday night football in Chi-Town. The Bears and the Giants.
You know, we picked the Giants last week, and was that a mistake or what?
Oh my God.
The Bears have lost 2 straight. But the Giants have lost 5 straight. I pick Chicago. It's hard to see them go 0-6.
I gotta pick Chicago too. They're just too strong.
The Giants 0-6.
I take the Bears as well.
No, Eli.
No, I can't do it.
Can't spell Eli.
Packers at Ravens.
Ravens played pretty good last week on the road against Miami. I thought they played really well. But I think the Packers are starting to turn on the juice now. I think the Packers win that one.
I gotta say the Packers too. I just don't see them losing.
I agree. The Bengals go on the road to take on Thaddeus Lewis. And the Bills.
If the Bills had EJ, I'd pick the Bills. But they don't have EJ, I pick the Bengals.
I'm picking the Bengals.
Picking the Bengals as well at this rate.
No EJ.
At this rate, we're all going to be the same.
I don't know about that.
The Lions at the Browns.
Last week they didn't have Calvin Johnson, which really hurt.
That was a last second.
Yeah, that's why I picked the Lions. But you never know when we pick the games it's way in advance, which kind of hurts. I picked the Lions this week. I think the Lions get back to the winning ways, beat the Browns.
I gotta think this one out.
They don't have Brandon Hoyer. They don't have Brian Hoyer anymore.
Yeah, Whedon played pretty well.
Yeah, but
I don't know.
It's at Cleveland.
It is at Cleveland.
I think the reason Cleveland plays so well because of Travis Benjamin.
I think that was one of the
Travis Benjamin.
Bravis Benjamin.
You know what? I'm gonna give the Browns one more week to show me why I picked them, but I'm gonna do it from the sideline. If the Browns win this week, I'm going to have more faith in my pick. Okay. But I'm going to say the Lions this week.
I picked the Lions as well.
On the fence. All right. This one's tough.
The Rams go on the road to Reliance Stadium in Houston, take on Matt, the interception Schwab, and the Houston Texans.
Matt stumped the Schwab. They throw another pick six this week? Probably. I don't know who to pick this one. I really don't know.
It's a toss-up.
I just don't see the Texans losing 3 in a row, personally, for me.
I think the Texans get back to winning. I pick Texans.
I'm picking Texans.
I'm going to go down.
I'm going to pick Texans again and again. We're all in agreement here.
This one I think we disagree probably.
The Carolina Panthers go on the road to Minnesota. And will it be Josh Freeman or won't it be?
No, he's not ready.
The Vikings.
Josh Freeman will not play Sunday. The coach, Wesley Frazier, said he will not play, so it's going to probably be... If Christian Ponder's healthy, Christian Ponder, if he's not, then Matt Castle will start again. I picked the Panthers. I think the Panthers are a little bit better.
You know what? I do think Adrian Peterson can outrun the Panthers' defense, but I don't much trust the Vikings' defense to outduel with Cam Newton, so I'm going to pick
what the heck?
I pick the Panthers as well.
What in the world? Well, it's fine. I'll just stay where I'm at then.
The Raiders go on the road to Kansas City, one of the few undefeated teams left, and the Chiefs.
Pick the Chiefs.
I gotta say the Chiefs.
One of my wild cards is proving very well.
I say the Chiefs as well.
The Chiefs.
The Ophir Pittsburgh Steelers.
They needed that bye last week.
Go on the road to the Meadowlands.
To take on Gino.
To take on Gino and the Jets. Geno Smith and the New York Jets.
I picked the Jets.
I gotta pick the Jets.
I say...
Let's say.
The Jets.
What the heck? What is going on here?
This might be the toilet bowl.
The toilet bowl game of the week.
Grab the paper and flush. That's the worst sounding toilet I've ever heard in my life.
The Philadelphia Eagles go on the road to Tampa Bay to take on the Buccaneers.
With Mike Glennon.
Yes, Mike Glennon.
I thought he played pretty well against Arizona, but
Arizona.
Why is this singing? I picked the Eagles.
I gotta pick the Eagles.
I picked the Eagles as well. This next game
is the most competitive game of the week.
Yes, clearly this could come down. This may go to double overtime.
This could be a triple overtime game.
This could be.
Could come down to a last-second field goal.
At Sports Authority Field in Mile High, the Denver Broncos host the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Without Tim Tebow still.
Well, like that matters.
I don't think that would have mattered.
No. It could have, this game is going to be close. In what realm am I talking?
It'll be close when the scoreboard starts at 14:50.
It'll be close at the beginning. In the first minute or so, it'll be close. I think Denver wins this game. I think they easily cover the 28-point spread. You know what? Why not? They could be playing in Jacksonville. They could be playing in Denver. They could be playing on the surface of the moon. I picked Denver in a wash. It's not even going to be close.
You know, I think I'm going to have to pick Denver, but only by 5 or 6 touchdowns.
Only. I say we see Brock Osweiler in this game.
Yes, it'll be Brock time, and not Lesnar. Brock Osweiler. The Broncos win, and they win handily, going away.
Handedly.
If they had Jake Locker, I would probably take the Titans.
Really?
But they don't.
They have
They have Ryan Fitzpatrick. Yeah. So the Tennessee Titans go on the road to the land of Oz to take on the Seattle, who finally took a loss, Seahawks.
Hey, after 5 games we won 4 of them. I'm pretty happy about that.
But we all picked it.
Well, yeah, we're back. Yeah. We're back home this week. We have a lot of things to fix. Our offensive line. I think we're getting Giacomini back. We're at home. We're clearly a huge favorite at home. I still think I would pick them with Jake Locker, even though it would be closer. But I still pick Seattle, of course.
I'm gonna have to pick Seattle.
I picked Seattle as well.
What the heck?
The most competitive and the game of the week, bar none, without even batting an eye.
Nope.
The undefeated New Orleans Saints go on the road to Foxborough. And I have a feeling Tom Brady's going to be a little mad.
Yeah.
His 52 game.
Do they get Gronk back?
His 52 game streak of throwing a touchdown pass was squashed last week at Cincinnati.
In the monsoon.
He goes home to New England, so Pats and the Saints.
I don't know, because do they have Gronk back or not?
They do.
They do.
Yes, Gronk will be playing. Amendola will be playing.
I don't think it's going to make a difference.
I don't see the Pats playing as well. I'm picking New England. I really am.
You're picking the Patriots.
Pat Riots.
Patriots. It's a toughie, fella.
It is really a toughie.
What are we doing on time?
I don't know.
My clock, I'm trying to figure out a little bit of power here. There we go.
Oh, we're good.
Yeah, we're good.
We got like 7 minutes.
You know what? I'm going to have to pick the Saints. I think it's going to take a little bit of time.
The first difference of the week.
I think we're going to have to take. I think it's going to take a little bit of time for Brady to get that chemistry back with Gronk. And my only concern is, I know Drew Brees is smarter to throw it in the opposite direction of Aqib Talib.
Yeah.
So I think
without Wolford, defense.
Yeah, I think this.
But
I think next week the Patriots will probably win. But
just for an update for Top Down, if the doctor wins this game, he'll be 3 games back now.
I picked the Patriots. Mm-hmm. The Cardinals at San Francisco.
So San Francisco faces the Honey Badger and Tyrann Mathieu. I picked San Francisco. I thought San Francisco played very well against the Texans, even though the Texans really didn't show up. I thought they ran the ball excellent with Frank Gore. I thought that was really a positive thing for San Francisco to do, is run the ball well, and they did it. I picked San Francisco.
Yeah, they got that. They got the defense going. They got They got the running game going. I think that took a lot of the pressure off Colin.
Yeah, he didn't throw a lot, but they ran a lot.
He whenever he did throw the ball, he threw it well. It's not like the middle two games against the Seahawks and the Colts.
Yeah.
He's starting to get those offensive weapons back piece by piece. This week we would probably have Manningham, if not this week, then next week. So that'll be a third capable receiver. We'll have 2 technical wideouts and 1 tight end. I'm picking the Niners.
Niners, for sure. The Dallas Cowboys go on the road.
Sunday Night Football,
NBC. And like the doc said earlier, what is national TV's obsession with the NFC East?
I do
not get it. But anyway, they go on the road to Washington to take on the Washington Socialist Politicians. Apparently that's the new name.
It's a horrible name.
I'm surprised the Redskins aren't shut down.
If Dallas could do that to Denver, I don't know what they're going to do to Washington. I picked Dallas.
I picked
Dallas. Monday Night Football. The Indianapolis Colts go on the road to take on Phillip Rivers and the San Diego Chargers.
I picked the Colts. The Colts are the second best team in the AFC.
I'm picking the Colts.
I picked the Colts as well, and that wraps up Pick'ems. We all agreed on every game but one. The doc picked the Aints.
And I picked the Pat Riots.
And you picked the Pat Riots, and I picked the Pat Riots. So, won't be a lot of fluctuation in the standings. That will be the only game.
So if the Saints win, he'll have 3 games back.
But if the Saints lose, he'll be 4 games back. So that's Pick'ems this week?
No, he'd be 5.
Huh?
Because he's 4 now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it'd be fine.
Okay, you're right.
But definitely not 6 games back like it was.
That last week hurt.
Yeah, that's a week.
That was rough.
So that's Pick'ems this week.
7-7.
That wraps up sports for the week.
I forgot our debate about the Redskins.
Yeah, do you guys want to do that? You know what? We'll take an early break.
No, we don't have to take an early break.
We'll take an early break. We'll come back, and we'll have a little debate about the Redskins, because that's going to take longer than 4 minutes.
Yeah.
So we'll do maybe 5 minutes.
Maybe 2.5.
And then we'll delve into some wrestling, finish up the show. Sound good? Sound good. We'll be right back. Triple Threat Talk after the break.
The late 90s. A chance meeting at summer camp between young Colin Kaepernick and Russell Wilson sparks one of the fiercest Madden rivalries of our time. They vow to become the greatest mobile quarterbacks in the NFL, so they can someday beat each other with each other in Madden. Their training regimen quickly becomes the stuff of legends. All their years of hard work have led up to this moment. Man versus man. Video game man versus video game man.
Is that how you do it?
A season 25 years in the making. Madden NFL 25, rated E for everyone.
EA Sports, it's in the can. Official game console of the NFL.
And welcome back, everyone, to Triple Threat Talk. I'm Garrett the Dr. Locker, joined as always by Big B, Brandon Amiro, Jimmy Biggers, Mr. Postmaster Jones. So, you all may or may not have heard in the news lately that the Washington Redskins are under some pressure to potentially change their name because of the implication it has on the Native American population. I think this is stupid.
They've been under pressure for a long time.
Now the president is chiming on this, and although there should be some bigger things he has to worry about, such as a non-functioning government right now, but be that as it may, he's still putting he's still putting in his 2 cents, as he is more than welcome to, on his opinion on whether or not that they should change the name. He thinks that they should.
Right.
My question is this, and this sparked when I posted this on Facebook. That's when you kind of got a little bit, hey, maybe we should talk about this on the show a little bit. If you change the Redskins name, which it has been forever, the Redskins, to me you have to change the Cleveland Indians and the Atlanta Braves.
I don't agree with that.
I think so. I think because if we're gonna pick on one team for calling them a Redskin, we're calling them Redskins, we have to eliminate all Indian names around. I think that's only fair.
But
I think that's only fair.
With Washington, some people deem that name as offensive because it's Redskin. Braves isn't offensive, and neither is Indians.
Okay, not all Indian tribes were. Not all Indians had fighters called Braves.
They think that as a
Brave is the name of an Indian boy.
It's an Indian fighter.
It's an Indian boy, actually.
It's an Indian fighter.
I just don't think. I never heard anyone say Braves is offensive or Indians is offensive. I've heard Redskins offensive for a long time.
I'm just saying, I think that it's one of those things, when you look at it, on its premise, it's changing the team's name is stupid anyways. I think we can all agree on that. I mean, you're talking about Mississippi, the Ole Miss had to change its name from the Flood to the Rebels because of negative implications of natural disasters in the 60s. It's not always just that. It's not always just, defending a group of people or alienating a group of people. It's also events or things that happen. So they changed to the Rebels, which I think the Flood was a cooler name than the Rebels.
The Rebels sounds good now.
The Rebels sounds pretty good now, but it's one of those things that changing a name, it shouldn't be a priority ever because you're talking about tradition. No one has said that the Redskins name is always offensive. It's just like recently, all right. Earlier today or yesterday, Kentucky State Board of Athletics issued to chaperone handshaking during games because there have been 24 instances of fights that break out during handshakes in the last 3 years. So there have been thousands upon thousands upon thousands of sporting events, and because 24 instances break out, we have to supervise handshaking.
And they did have to come out and say, we didn't say get rid of handshakes.
Yeah, they didn't say, because originally they'd said that they were going to
get rid of it.
Yeah, the report had said that it was going to get rid of. Whether whose fault that is or not, that is incorrect. Right. But they were chaperone it now.
That's just silly.
It's silly because they're treating it as the exception and not the rule. And I think that's what they're doing with the Redskins. There's 5 or 6 people that disagree with it. So now they're treating it as the exception and not the rule. And yes, I realize there's more than 5 or 6 people that disagree. I'm just making a point. Yeah. So I think that that's silly. I don't think that you should have anyone. You are not the owner of the team. No. If I wanted to go out and buy a team and say, you know what, it's the Docs, Funky Dunky Dockies, then you know what? I don't care if you disagree.
I'm sorry,
but
that'd be the greatest jersey to wear.
That would be awesome.
Funky Dunky Dockies.
What colors would that be? Pink, purple?
Pink, purple,
rainbow.
Pink, purple, and orange.
So you and Cody would be front row.
Yeah, you guys would have front row seats, and we'd appreciate your patronage. Don't get me wrong, we greatly would. So it's one of those things. We can't start treating things as the exception instead of the rule when it comes to things that we don't own. And we don't own the Redskins.
Now, here's the thing, okay? First of all, it boils down to Dan Schneider's decision if you want to change it. It's his team. He owns it. First of all, his biggest decision, he should fix that field. That's the first thing. That's the first thing he should fix.
I agree.
It's the first thing he needs to fix.
He did get approved for financial help from the league.
Okay, well,
good. He can fix the field.
I'm just saying, he did. He was one of the 2 teams that asked for financial assistance.
Anyway, so
was granted.
But in terms of this name, actually, again, I'm not offended by it because I'm not that type of person. But an article was actually brought up on a gaming website called Kotaku, and actually was actually a pretty interesting topic. They said, "What if there's a team called the Whiteskins?" That'd be offensive. People would find offense in that.
I don't think it would be offensive. I think maybe since we're white, we can say these terms. I think maybe cracker or
people said about cracker
or honky would be
Cracker Barrel.
I think
those Cracker Barrel.
Is that offensive?
No, it's the United States world-renowned white supremacist restaurant. Everybody knows that. Come on. I mean, come on. It's pretty obvious.
Cracker Barrel.
But I think that those 2 teams, those would be more offensive. But even then, I wouldn't. If they wanted to call them the Honkies, I'm like, let's do it. The Honky Tonk Man.
Touchdown Honkies.
Yeah, that's a good point.
The Honky Tonk
Honkies. He didn't have to change his name.
Who?
Honky Tonk Man.
Yeah, but it's Honky Tonk.
I know. It's still Honky Tonk. It's still
different. Anyway,
it says the word honky in it.
What's a tonk?
I don't know.
Honky Tonk.
I don't know. I don't know what a tonk is.
Honky Tonk, but donkey donk.
as much noise as this topic gets every so often, I don't see them changing the name at all. I don't see it.
I think it's silly though to even talk about it. To even have an outbreak. For the President of the United States to get involved is way beyond and above. Whether or not there's a politics show or not, I think we can all agree on that.
Government shutdown. That's the number one priority right now.
Yeah, seriously.
Why are you worried about the Redskins?
So, if it was if they had a mascot name, if their mascot wasn't the Redskins, if it was a name that was meant towards like gay and equal rights, how would you and Cody feel about that?
Is that thing still up there? People actually had some suggestions for, I saw like the Washington Rebels, the Washington Soldiers. There were some different name changes.
Come on, we all know what it should be. If they're gonna change it, there's only one name to change it to.
What?
The only one name that makes sense.
No.
And the jerseys are already out there.
No.
And the helmets.
What?
The design and all.
What is it?
Your Washington Sentinels.
I like it.
Yeah. I mean,
they gotta get Shane Falco then.
Well, that's fine.
He
can probably do better than Robert Griffin III.
They gotta get Keanu Reeves on the field.
Yeah, on the field.
And they gotta get John Favreau to play linebacker.
Yeah, and they gotta get Gene Hackman to be the head coach.
Hackman.
Fire Mike Shanahan and bring in Gene Hackman. They gotta get the old man that looks like Jerry Jones to be the owner.
Yeah, and they gotta get the big fat guy as the offensive coordinator.
Yeah,
and they gotta get the sumo wrestler.
And the brothers that were defensive linemen.
Yeah, you gotta get the cute girl.
Orlando Franklin.
They gotta go Orlando Jones.
Orlando Franklin.
Orlando Jones.
Yeah, Clifford Franklin. Coach, it looks like.
You get the ball and I'm gonna kick the hell out of it.
That's a good movie.
Martell, he crossed.
Tomorrow you'll be playing with the best quarterback in the league.
What was that? Because that's how I play. Anyway, all right. But bottom line with the Redskins, I don't think they changed their name. Again, this is going to continue to get more noise. It is, because there's people out there that are definitively saying, change this name, it's offensive, stop it. People are going to continue to do that till, the end of time.
And you know what? Those people don't have to be Redskins fans. No. We live in a free market society. He can
they're like they're Native Americans, and they have offensive.
He can name,
but I don't think Braves
name it. I think it's okay. I think they can deal with that because they can have casinos on their land anywhere and we can't.
You know what?
Brave sounds like a strong thing. Brave. Seminole.
We get technical. The Vikings is the bad name.
Vikings are out.
They can come over here and say, look, that's
offensive.
Change the name.
The Pittsburgh Pirates.
Oh, they'll go, what's in your wallet? That's what they'll say.
Since when did Alec Baldwin show up?
You don't remember the Viking commercial?
I remember with Alec Baldwin.
No, the Capital One commercial with the Viking.
He was in with them.
Not all the time, not originally. Anyway.
Where are we going with this?
What's in your wallet?
So with that sports now has been covered.
Yes.
There'll be no OVW this week. Our good friend Brian
Washington Cardinals
is busy with the St. Louis Cardinals.
Hoping they lose to the Pirates.
So no OVW.
Raise the Jolly Roger. Go Pirates.
Quiet.
Watch your language.
Go Pirates! Raise the Jolly Roger.
What are you complaining about? You should be happy the Pirates would win because...
No!
Why wouldn't you want the Pirates to win?
Because everyone knows my disdain for the city of Steel.
But that's just the Steelers.
That's everything associated with it.
I like the Pittsburgh Penguins.
I like Penguins. I don't like them when they're in Pittsburgh.
Who doesn't like Penguins?
I love Penguins.
Okay then.
I own a penguin.
What?
Polar bears do not like penguins.
Well, there's no team called the Polar Bears, so don't worry about it.
I'm just saying.
There's no football team called the Alaska Polar Bears.
There should be.
That'd be too cold.
Now you're profiling.
I wouldn't play
You straight up just profiled. You said the Alaskan polar bears.
There's polar bears in Alaska.
Profile.
There's polar bears in Alaska.
Those poor polar bears are being picked on now.
Where else do they live? They have to live in the cold.
They're going to file a lawsuit against this show.
I never heard of a team called the Hawaii Polar Bears.
Yes.
Or the New Mexico Polar Bears. Or the Arizona Polar Bears. It's Alaska.
How dare you? Now we're going to get a lawsuit.
Yeah, I'm going to get called by the Coca-Cola Polar Bears.
The Venezuelan Polar Bears. Is that what you're trying to say?
Oh, my Lord. Let's not forget, Orlando, Florida has a minor league hockey team, and their name is the Orlando Solar Bears. Because it's polar bears.
The Solar Bears?
What the heck?
The Solar Bears.
The Solar Bears. WWE Battleground. What a snoozer.
You go from the main event had no winner.
No contest.
Which we kind of hinted at. Was it King Lang, which didn't happen.
No.
The best match of that was clearly the Rhodes versus the Shield.
And that was, yes.
That was incredible. The finish was phenomenal. I watched it. I mean, it went from Dean Ambrose going after Dusty Rhodes to Goldust saving his. No, it was Roman Reigns going after Dusty Rhodes. Goldust attacking him, and then Cody Rhodes hitting an excellent crossroads on Seth Rollins, and the crowd was just into it, and the Rhodes family winning. That was the best match of the night, in my opinion, for me. And then I was telling him on Facebook, once again, Damien Sandow loses again. What in the world?
He's terrible.
And then AJ Lee beat Brie Bella, but she actually got a concussion from that. She wasn't on Raw. They told her to go home.
Alberto Del Rio did defeat RVD.
RVD's done.
RVD's done for now. He served his block of time. He'll take some time off.
Cheese, yes.
Probably be back for Royal Rumble, I would imagine.
And Bray,
he's going to be on 90 days, I think. Or is he going to be gone longer?
No, he takes, that's like off 90, works 90, something like that. But he might come back for Royal Rumble.
And Bray Wyatt must have watched The Exorcist before that, before the show, before the pay-per-view. Because, take a look at this. Wow. That's crazy.
I mean,
that's cool. I like that.
I know wrestling.
I'm not freaked out by that. I think that's cool.
I know wrestling is scripted, but I think even Kofi Kingston was like, "What in the world is he doing?"
That was awesome. Wait a minute, wrestling is scripted?
You can't say that.
You cannot let us say that. Yeah, here comes another lawsuit. That's 2 lawsuits this show because of you. First, you offended polar bears, and now you're talking about the creativity of professional wrestling. How dare you? Oh my God.
What are you going to tell us next? What are you going to tell us next? That Godzilla's not real?
He's not.
Domo's not real?
It's a movie. By the way, that hat's not 10 gallons either.
How dare you, sir?
I know a way to prove it. We'll take it to the gas station.
Fill with gas.
Fill with gas. We'll see how much gas it holds. We'll know if it's a 10 gallon hat. So the main event ends in a no contest. Big Show knocks everybody out.
Yeah, including the referee.
Including his career.
So the next night on Raw, Stephanie McMahon fires the Big Show.
I thought he had an ironclad contract.
Like I said. See, I thought he had an ironclad contract.
That's what I'm wondering.
So we have a WWE app vote.
Could that be any... Well, we thought it would be a landslide, but it wasn't as close as we thought.
As to who would be the special guest referee for Daniel Bryan versus Randy Orton in a Hell in a Cell.
So your choices are Booker T, Bob Backlund, whatever the hell he was doing.
I don't know.
And then some guy named Shawn Michaels.
Never heard of him.
Never heard of him.
But he won, but I wasn't a landslide.
No, he won 61%. Bob Backlund got 32, I think, because he was a whack job out there. He was pretty much saying, don't vote for me.
Exactly. And a surprise, but like I told you earlier, clearly he must have got a phone call saying, please come back now. Vicky Guerrero told Alberto Del Rio, your opponent at Hell in a Cell will be John Cena.
Which he will lose because that would put him primarily on SmackDown.
He's going to win.
I'm still a little bit hesitant. I think something's going to happen where he's not going to show up. I don't know.
I think he wins and then put the WWE title on SmackDown and put the world title on Raw.
I don't think so.
They've done it before.
Yeah.
I don't think that'll happen.
Time to shake things up.
I think they like having Cena on Raw.
And also to close Raw, Triple H gets knocked out by the Big Show. And apparently there could be a possible arrest warrant against the Big Show for assault.
Oh.
And Triple H
got an ironclad contract.
Triple H has a concussion.
Oh, okay.
So with that, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll wrap up the show with the wild cards. I don't know if we have an idiot of the week or not. We might. I don't know. And we'll wrap up the show right after this. Stay tuned. Triple Threat Talk. Don't go anywhere.
Hey, Nick Dinsmore here. Do you have the dream of becoming a pro wrestler? Well, I did, and I came to Ohio Valley Wrestling. Join the Nick Dinsmore Pro Wrestling class today. I'm a former WWE superstar. I'm a former 9-time Ohio Valley Wrestling heavyweight champion, and I can train you to be the best today. For all the information regarding the Nick Dinsmore Pro Wrestling class, go to obwrestling.com and click on school. Join the Nick Dinsmore Pro Wrestling class today. obwrestling.com, click on school.
And welcome back here on the show. Postmaster Jones, Jimmy Biggers, along with the Doc, Gary Lockard, and Big B, Brandon Namiro. So to wrap up the show, I know you have a wild card. Do you have a wild card?
I do have a wild card.
I do not, so go ahead.
I've accepted a new position in my company, which I will not name because media relations, but I do thank you very much. I have a new position, so that may at times affect whether or not I can and won't be here, but in the event that I am not able to be here, I will send Brandon, my thoughts for the week.
Domo will take his place.
And Domo will take my place. That's right.
No. We decided that Spider-Man will take his place.
Will be Spider-Man?
I thought we picked Domo on that skit.
No,
we picked Domo.
But I think Spider-Man was the better.
I think he was.
You said he'd always be busy.
If you're going to choose someone to replace me, it better be a superhero.
How about Batman?
That's acceptable.
How about Robin?
No, Batman.
No, Robin's not good enough.
Batman's awesome.
It is for him.
Yeah, Batman's awesome. I like Batman. So
how about Spider-Man?
Who's Spider-Man?
How about
Batman and Spider-Man? Look it up.
How about How about the toxic?
Batman, Spider-Man.
How about the Toxic Avenger?
You know what I'm talking about?
All right.
How about the Toxic Avenger?
No.
How about Leonardo?
I would do that, Leonardo. Although I was more partial Donatello.
Michelangelo is my favorite.
I always like Donatello.
What about you?
Donatello.
Yeah, Donatello.
Raphael?
Nadal?
No.
But in the event,
where did that go?
In the events, hopefully they're rare. That I won't be here. I will send
like a steak.
I will send. I will send Big B a video.
A lot of people like rare
with some random thoughts and some ribs too.
Your thoughts are always random.
You're gonna send me ribs?
I mean, nothing new.
You're gonna send me
Your
ribs?
thoughts are always random.
You're gonna send me ribs?
That's right.
So what's your wild card? Oh, you said
yeah, that's my wild card.
I don't have a wild card this week, so I'll turn it over to the Big B.
All right. So this wild card jumped out at me this morning, and I was like, "This is just crossing the line." So Matt Schwab,
you can't make a TNA reference on this show. How dare you?
There's another lawsuit.
That's another lawsuit.
I'll just stand like this. No. We all know Matt Schwab's not playing very well.
Really?
Really? That's news to me.
Yeah. You saw firsthand.
I thought he played awesome on Sunday.
Yeah, he was
the best player on the 49ers team.
He was.
Yeah, the 49ers first touchdown. No. Matt Schwab, Texans fans accosted him at his home Tuesday evening and
accosted. I like this word.
That's a strong word.
Accosted.
Good job, sir.
And
I didn't know you had that kind of education.
And quote berated him for his poor play.
His foreplay?
Really? How did they know what his foreplay?
Did his wife give him a call?
Does his wife like publicly come out and say
this won't take hard enough? They berated him for his poor play. A fan went to his house and told him off. Law enforcement told CBS Houston. Additionally, the source told me another person took pictures of his family and posted them on Facebook.
That's pretty crossing the line.
That's crossing the line.
Foreplay or no foreplay? Crossing the line.
I mean, obviously Matt Schwab's not playing very well. And obviously, people take this thing too far. And you shouldn't go to the guy's house and take pictures of his family. That's just too much.
It's kind of creepy.
That's like stalking.
Well, he's giving it up an awful lot, so I guess he figures he got to have a lot of foreplay. Yeah.
That's my wild card. I don't think it really did justice like I wanted it to.
It never does. It never does.
His poor play.
So do we have an idiot of the week? I think
me for that one.
Yeah. You? For your mini puns today. So this week, for episode 119.
My idea of the week was going to be you for causing us 3 lawsuits on the show.
Yes. So for causing us 3 lawsuits.
What is that, like 6 now for me?
And for mispronouncing poor play with foreplay. Big B is this week's episode 119. Idiot of the week.
6 times.
6. Oh boy. I think that does it.
That does it for the show. So don't be an idiot of the week this week, and please like us on Facebook.
Don't be like him.
I like that. Don't be an idiot of the week. He might have redeemed himself a little bit.
At Facebook.com.
Take it away. No.
At Facebook.com/TripleThreatTalk. Don't be an idiot again and follow us on Twitter at TripleThreatTalk.
I'm getting carried away now.
On
Twitter. Please send us any comment or question you have and your blogs at TripleThreatTalk@yahoo.com. And visit our fabulous website. Thanks to Terry and Cheryl Bodie for that one at TripleThreatTalk.com. This is Big B.
It's Postmaster Jones.
This is Gary, the Dr. Lockhart, signing off. I hope I'll see you guys soon.
This is Big B signing off, and I'm going to go see some polar bears.
Solar bears.
Solar bears.
Polar bears. How dare you. So if we're not here next week, you'll know why. See you next week.